Why make DOC for a 5-year-old game? Well, actually DOC for a 5-year-old port of an 8-year-old game. Could it be because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has sold nearly 50 million copies and promising 48 new tracks for their most lucrative game would be a great way to incentivize the average consumer into paying $49.99 for a Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pass subscription? Pshh, nah. Listen, I won't pretend to understand Nintendo's business practices, I'll just complain about them on Twitter while still falling for them. But maybe, just maybe, this means we'll get some Mario Party DLC down the road. On March 18th, we were granted by Mr. Nintendo himself 8 new courses for good old Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, all retro tracks. And today, we're gonna give them a shakedown, see what makes them tick. We're gonna compare them to their original Nitro track counterparts and see whether or not Mr. Nintendo goofed in remastering them. Also, huge shoutouts to the following channels for footage of some of these Mario Kart Tour tracks I'm about to show. You either can't play tracks from past tours anywhere, or I'm too stupid to figure out how. So this archival footage from YouTube is the only comparison footage I could use. Anyway, getting into it, the first track in the Golden Dash Cup is Paris Promenade from Mario Kart Tour, that weird mobile game no one talks about anymore. In that game, there were 3 versions of this track, appropriately named Paris Promenade 2, and Paris Promenade 3. The retro track undertakes the noble quest of combining these 3 tracks into one, the ultimate Paris Promenade, if you will. And for the most part, it's successful. The first part of the track combines elements from Promenade 1 and 3, as you cross the town square and arrive at the Eiffel Tower. From there, the path diverges, implementing the routes from Promenades 1 and 3. The 2 paths reconvene at the giant piranha plant, and the final stretch is taken from Promenade 2 and 3, albeit without the pipes, both vertical and horizontal. And you know what? Cute. It's cute that all 3 promenades are represented here. But then we get to lap 3. All signs of divinity and holiness are lost in the godless land of France. What's that? Mr. Lakitu wants me to go where? Suddenly we're forced down a detour in the town square, as though we're in Massachusetts during the months of January through December. We bang a Yui, potentially hit a glide ramp, and start going backwards along the track. We once more pass the giant piranha plant and take a glide ramp away from the Eiffel Tower this time, an aspect derived from Paris Promenade R, or reverse. My issue with this sudden reversal is that there's no indication that it's gonna happen. Like, we've seen tracks switch it up before, the falling pillars of GCN Dry Desert, the fire snakes in DS Desert Hills, the sand filling up in Dry Ruins, and Grumble Volcano crumbling away. That's not my issue here. My issue is that all of a sudden on lap 3 we go the opposite way. Had all 3 laps mixed it up a bit, maybe followed all 3 Paris promenades, that would have been fun. But having just lap 3 be the mix-up kind of feels lazy and confusing. And since we're on the subject of lazy and confusing, I don't like the red arrows that tell you, don't go this way. You can just drive through them and then Lakitu has to come pick you up. Either they should have been an invisible wall or just the regular barricades that we already see on the track. Letting you drive through them is the most bizarre way they could have handled this. You can just drive through some barricades and then Lakitu picks you up? Huh? Just make them full walls? Why are we doing this? Is this more challenging than a wall that slows you down when you hit it? These spots make the track seem, I don't know, unfinished. And then this last one isn't so much a track-specific issue, but the scale of Mario Kart throws me off so much. Look at how giant these Toads and Yoshis are. Look at this bench, this garbage can, this scooter. Why is everything so big? Are the racers like Lilliputians or something? It's not even a Toadette problem either. Look at King Koopa next to a Toad. What the hell? Anyway, Paris Promenade is fine. It looks marginally nicer, and my complaints are just nitpicks. Beyond that, the track feels wider as well, less cramped than its Nitro track counterpart. Like, you weren't breathing down the other racers' necks the whole time. It's better than the original. Are these Toads historical figures, or famed racers, or simply the sponsors with the fattest wallets? Because why don't we see parade floats of human beings at Daytona Beach or Formula 1 races? That'd be epic and not uncanny in the slightest. Alright, what did 3DS Toad Circuit change? Well, we got a couple of those MKTV trucks along the course, and there's fans scattered around watching the high-octane action. The track, like with Paris Promenade, just feels wider, likely to host the 12 racers that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe supports. Most notably, however, the texture of the Toad blimps was changed. In the Nitro track, they had this sheen of vinyl or polyurethane, maybe latex. I don't know what oil refining looks like in the Mushroom Kingdom. You know, to make it look like a balloon, one that would fit in the Macy's parade. In the retro track, they look like Toads to an uncanny degree. The models of the balloons and the Toads themselves are way too similar. But that's all the changes though. Pretty underwhelming. It's a better track just because it looks nicer. Wait a minute, is this? No, it can't be. This is just the track from Mario Kart Tour. N64 Choco Mountain. I have fond memories racing through this foggy mountain pass, dodging boulders, falling off this cliff and having to redo an entire section of track, and trying to jump as high as possible off the last 3 bumps. This track is also home of the Weather Tenko, like the craziest speedrun I've ever seen. You should totally watch Something Salt's video on it if you haven't seen it already. It's pretty good. I highly recommend it. So what's this retro track got up its sleeve? Well, we start on a ridge, we're no longer deep within a mountain range, we sneak through some sort of crystal mine that replaced the rather bland tunnel, use a glide ramp to circumvent a ruined bridge, then ascend the flooded quarry, bada bing, bada boom.
Home in time for dinner.
The reimaginings of this retro track are kinda underwhelming, to say the least. Like, we've seen mines before, both in Wii Wario's Gold Mine and Shy Guy Falls. Using a glide ramp to cross a missing bridge is kinda boring and predictable. Why not transform the tunnel into a spooky cave, one that fits the isolated atmosphere of the Nitro track? The falling rocks section could have been changed to zero gravity, where you have to dodge small landslides or whatever. I don't know, it's just uninspired. That's the best way I can put it. Is it better than the Nitro track? I don't know. I guess so, due to the graphics, but I really don't like this one. It could have been so much better. Let's just say it's better and move on. But wait, this is just the track from Mario Kart Tour. Except there are none of those Choco Island-esque bumps. That's funny, right? Another track that's just from Mario Kart Tour? Here we are. Here's the reason you clicked on this video. Everyone's favorite track from everyone's favorite Mario Kart game, Coconut Mall. The king of Mario Kart Wii and one of the greatest examples of Wii-era nostalgia. Not to mention, the only Mario Kart track to become a verb.
You just got coconut mauled.
So how did this happen? How did we lose Coconut Mall? I'll try to minimize the whole old thing good, new thing bad talking point. So let's start with what I like about the new track. The storefronts at the start of the course are more appealing in the retro track, and I like the mural as you enter the Coconut Garden. That's it. That's all I like about this new track. Now here are some rapid fire complaints about the track. Why are the escalators ramps? That's not how escalators work and would actually be far more dangerous. The ramps leading into and out of Coconut Garden, as well as to the glide ramp, while much more handicap accessible than the Nitro track stairs, are painted like a tennis court. Ugly. Also, you can partially drive through the ramps? Cool. The speed bump in the parking lot was likely removed in the wake of a lawsuit filed after an incident I imagine looks something like this. The cars no longer vie for the perfect parking job, instead just parking in the middle of the road. And then there's this bizarre art installation that satirizes how large the threat of vending machines really is, and that vending machines are, in fact, an apex predator. I don't like this track either. And you know what? It's worse. This track sucks. It loses a lot of the small details that make it actually feel like a mall, and the palette used makes everything look plastic. And wait a second. This is just the track from Mario Kart Tour. Interesting. Okay, so the Golden Dash Cup was kind of a wash, but the Lucky Cat Cup has gotta be better, right? Tokyo Blur from good old Mario Kart Tour. Like Paris Promenade, Tokyo Blur has a few different variations on the track, 4 in total. The first lap is just the layout from Tokyo Blur 1. Then lap 2 switches things up, a la the final lap of Paris Promenade. This lap follows the layout from Tokyo Blur 2. And then, get this, lap 3 follows the layout from Tokyo Blur 3. Tokyo Blur 4 isn't represented, but that track is just a mashup of 1 and 3 anyway. This track is basically just Paris Promenade, but better. It successfully combines elements from all variants of the Nitro track while adding nothing else. The red arrows return and are just as lazy, but feel less out of place considering all 3 laps are unique. Had Paris Promenade decided to have each lap represent a variant of the Nitro track, instead of the first 2 laps being a wishy-washy mashup and the last lap being something completely different, then it would have been much more successful. Yet, at the same time, if all 3 laps are different, why not make a long track with 3 sections? Like Mount Wario or N64 Rainbow Road. Each section could cover one variant of the Nitro track, and then there wouldn't be the confusing and lazy red arrows. Like Paris and Tokyo are both fairly large cities, the tracks don't need to be so densely packed. But where I'm biased to nitpicking, what's different about this retro track? That's what we all want to know after all. Well, the thwomps crack the pavement and this rickshaw wagon has customers. That's all I could find. So, is it better? Yeah, I guess so. It looks nicer at least. And the cracks add a level of realism, I guess? DS Shroom Ridge, one of my favorite tracks from Mario Kart DS. Racing against the legendary red car in mission mode will be ingrained in my memory forever. So what's different here? A glide ramp was added to the otherwise boring meadow, and the ugly tree skybox, was replaced with a simple ledge. And don't forget about Surfboard Car, that guy's cool. This warp pipe blowing air creates a nifty shortcut, although its origin is unclear. Like, where's the air coming from? Personally, I think it's like a ventilation grate for a subway or something. Maybe Super Bell Subway is right under Shroom Ridge. Who knows? The thing that really gets me about this retro track, though, is the tunnel right here. The white dotted line is replaced with a double yellow line, and above the tunnel, 2 green arrows tell us we can enter it safely. But on the other side of the tunnel, there are 2 more green arrows, which imply that it's also safe to enter on that side. But it's not. They should be red X's, not green arrows. What the heck? And the double yellow lines just don't make sense. In the Nitro track, there is a white dotted line the whole way through, implying it was just a regular freeway with not enough guardrails, like California Route 1. Here, in the retro track, things make even less sense because traffic only goes one way. So what do the double yellow lines imply? The civil engineer in charge of this project needs to be fired. This is inexcusable. But yeah, it's better, I guess. I don't know. GBA Sky Garden is another track that I loved from Mario Kart DS. All the fun little jumps, the visuals, and the song make for a very pleasant and memorable track to me. So why, pray tell, did Mr. Nintendo take a clothes iron and smooth out all the sharp curves? The first shortcut jump thing has become these leaves reminiscent of this jump from Cloud Top Cruise, and this super rad shortcut was turned into a mushroom trampoline. This daring shortcut over clouds has been removed, being replaced with a beanstalk arch you can cut through. And the last stretch of track is a glide section. I don't have much to say about this one, I'll be honest. I'm bummed that one of my favorite tracks got babyfied, but this is a baby game, which renders my point moot. It looks nicer and is better, I guess, but god do I hate this one. And what's this? This is just the track from Mario Kart Tour. Do I sense a pattern here? Last but not least, we have Ninja Hideaway, the track from Mario Kart Tour, even if the game won't admit to it. Seriously, what's up with that? Is this ignorance or malice? Anyway, this is the best track from Wave 1 of the Booster Pass, hands down. The mechanics match the theme, and the numerous routes make for a dynamic, interesting track. Glide ramps lead to hidden routes up high, and there's this fun shortcut through the cardboard piranha plants. So what's different? That's not rhetorical. What's different here? The track is wider to fit the extra 4 racers, but what else? If anything, the wider track makes the perspective even more warped here, having the racers take on the role of Ralph from the Mouse and the Motorcycle. Only this time the aspirin has been stolen by ninjas. Lakitu also doesn't really work well on this track. Watch me purposely drive off at a 90-degree angle and have Lakitu place me like 50 feet ahead. Bull? And driving up these steps feels not good. But whatever, it's better than the Nitro track, sure. These Booster Pass courses just depress me, man. Like, yeah, they're remastered courses, not remakes of the courses, but the fact that, except for Shroom Ridge, every track comes out of Mario Kart Tour is lame. These tracks suck, they're boring, they're ugly, no love was put into them, and a lot of them play like worse versions of pre-existing tracks. They all could have had unique designs with cool mechanics and stand out, but instead they're totally forgettable. Toad Circuit is a worse Mario Circuit, Mario Kart Stadium, and GBA Mario Circuit. It's the first track in Mario Kart 7, sure, but the rest of the introductory circuits in this game are 10 times more interesting. Choco Mountain is a worse Shy Guy Falls and Wii Wario's Gold Mine. The mining aesthetic has just been done better. Coconut Mall is a worse Sunshine Airport. Both have you drive through otherwise mundane establishments, but Sunshine Airport captures the essence of an airport more than Coconut Mall does with malls. Shroom Ridge is a worse Toad Harbor and N64 Toad's Turnpike. We've driven down streets before, you gotta give us more than just that. Sky Garden is a worse Cloud Top Cruise. Cool, driving on clouds. Where's the garden, Nimrod? Paris Promenade and Tokyo Blur would have been cool if more was done to remake them, but as it stands they both feel unfinished. Paris Promenade more so. All these tracks had the potential to be great. Their Nitro track counterparts were great already. And except for Shroom Ridge, they were already in Mario Kart Tour. All Nintendo had to do was make them up to par with the rest of this game's tracks. But what did they do? Just threw the tracks into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's engine and called it a day. There's not a single zero gravity section in any of these DLC tracks. You know, the main gimmick of Mario Kart 8, the mechanic that was thrown into nearly every track regardless of whether or not it made sense. They couldn't even be bothered to retexture the DLC tracks, which makes makes everything have the plastic sheen I noted earlier. These tracks are so remarkably worse than the 48 shad tracks we already had, I couldn't believe it. But then I remembered we're dealing with Nintendo, the king of underwhelming products. I don't know why I expected any effort from Nintendo when it came to making DLC for their best-selling game on the system. They once again did the bare minimum and are going to be handsomely rewarded for it. We were tricked into paying $24.99 for tracks that could be played for free on our smartphones. I hope that the next 40 tracks will be more than just ports of Mario Kart Tour tracks, but I'm not expecting it. Anyway, all these tracks suck. They're just barely better than the Nitro track counterparts. Nintendo is a bad company, a Rush game is never good, yada yada yada. But 48 tracks for $25 is a steal even if those 48 tracks suck. So if you're gonna play this game online even remotely, you should pick it up. And you bet your ass I'm gonna make 5 more videos on these crappy tracks when they come out. Take care.